So I have 10 lessons to share with you from our unfractured state of New York, which I hope might be useful to your own campaigns. But I want to begin actually with an apology to everyone who lives in a nation different from mine. On behalf of the United States, I apologize to the world for fracking, which is quite possibly the most obscene technology after the nuclear bomb to ever be exported from my country to yours. It is not only blowing apart the bedrock of our planet, the very foundation of our common home, it is not only destroying water, polluting air, and poisoning people wherever it goes. Fracking is also accelerating the speed at which the Earth is hurtling toward climate catastrophe because it is inherently leaky. And it is decelerating the just transition to renewable energy because it is dressed up and masquerades as a solution to climate change when actually it's a problem. As you heard if you were here for Dr. Howard's presentation, although CO2 has actually increased by 30 to 40% over pre-industrial levels, methane has actually tripled since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, and the number one source is natural gas extraction. The global spike in methane in our atmosphere since 2008 is directly attributable to shale gas revolution in my country, the United States. So we are not only exporting fracking technology, bringing devastation caused by toxic chemicals and misery to other nations. Even if we just fracked ourselves, our methane emissions from California across the country to West Virginia, they are threatening the whole planet. The United States is fracking the world's atmosphere, and fracking is a climate crime. And for that, I'm sorry and I'm ashamed. I don't think you're going to hear those words from the White House, so I thought you should hear them from someone. So I'm sorry. Not by way of excuse, but by way of explanation. I just thought I'd share with you my thoughts on how we in America were hoodwinked. It's because fracking began in remote areas in the West where few people lived and weren't there to speak out. And then we also suffered from the complicity in the early days of our environmental organizations. And I think it's important to say who they were. The Sierra Club was taking money from the gas industry, and it said that the gas was a bridge to the future. They don't do that anymore, but they did it then. Environmental Defense Fund continues to do that. So when the environmental community speaks about gas as a solution, people don't necessarily think that it's a false solution because it's the environmental community, not the industry, saying that. And that was, I think, part of our problem. I can't go back in time, but I can make a pledge that I will spend the rest of my days trying to stop this industry. And in the words of the French minister inside of COP, I intend to bring the full experience of my life to this fight. I will never quit, and I will never surrender in the fight against fracking. Woo! So as you heard from Monona, I am a cancer survivor. That does not make me fearless. But I know how to work when I'm scared, and I'm far more frightened about my next medical checkup than I am the inside of a jail cell, and that's what makes me brave. I am also a mother. I had cancer at 20, I became a mother on the brink of 40. I didn't even know I could have children, so for me, I experienced my pregnancies as living miracles. And motherhood doesn't make me powerful, but it does mean that I know with confidence that I love my children more than the fracking companies and their investors love their quarterly profits. And that makes me play to win.
That's right.
And I'm also the wife of a sculptor. And that doesn't make me financially comfortable, but it does mean I spend a lot of time looking at statuary and thinking about the visual representations of victory, beauty, struggle, conflict, love, and the natural world, which sculptors often deal with in their work. And so, because my bed and breakfast here in Paris is near the Tuileries Garden, I spent my early mornings running through the gardens looking at the sculptures there. And there's one I want to tell you about. It's a sculpture of Cain, who walks naked and alone with his hands over his face, and he's ashamed. He's learned too late that yes, he is his brother's keeper. And to me, this is the statue that represents a 3-degree world with mass extinction, a world in which the frackers win, and we're all sorry, really sorry, that we didn't think about how to take care of everyone and do it before it was too late. But across the octagon pond, there's another statue of the Good Samaritan, where one man is cradling another man, half dead, naked, dehydrated, and he's going to take care of him. And that's the world in which we win. That's the world where we carry this half-dead planet of ours, and we take care of each other, and we get a just transition, and we do it equitably. And that's the sculpture I've been spending a lot of time getting inspiration from this last week. There's also another one that I mentioned in my talk inside COP yesterday, which is across the octagon pond. There is a statue of Hercules, who is, like us, a human being, a mortal, but also a superhero. And remember, Hercules has to engage in complete 12 almost impossible tasks, including cleaning the Aegean stables, and it takes all of his strength. And in this particular representation of Hercules, he's exhausted. He's obviously already finished some of those tasks, but he still has some more ahead of him. He's also, his muscles are tense, so he's ready for action. But he's missing his penis and all of his fingers, probably because real-life air pollution from fossil fuel combustion has eroded him away. So in the way he looks at us, he's been emasculated and he's got amputations, but he's still determined to fight. So that's us. I guess we all have our genitals, but besides that, that's us. We are trying to accomplish the near impossible against all odds. And so the times call on us for Herculean measures. So I've spent a lot of time this week getting inspiration from that guy too.